Okay, pray to the YouTube gods that this gets through. Actually, if it did get through, you're seeing this. And if it doesn't get through, you wouldn't see this. So why am I doing this? Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now, if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstvocals.com. You can also find me on various social media platforms, including Patreon, and I will put the handles down below and over there. Over there. That was long and stupid and long, but it's done now. So if you'd like to consider becoming a patron, you have access to things like early release of reactions, you can fast track reactions, become a reaction, the special roles on my Discord server, and you have access to all sorts of bonus content, including my wee rants and my Vocal Anatomy 101 videos. So consider becoming a patron and help shape my channel. Okay, so I have actually heard a little excerpt of this song. I wanted to put it into one of my Vocal Anatomy 101 videos, but it got completely blocked, like blocked. Can't do nothing about it. So we're going to try a live version and see if that is okay. We're going to listen to Lin Manuel Miranda and Ben Platt performing, I don't know what the song's called, Found Tonight, which I think is two songs from two musicals like blended together. I think it's something from Hamilton and Dear Evan Hansen. That was a guess. So let's just go and have a listen to it and see what we think. Also, still recovering from a cold, so you'll hear not the best vocal examples today. Pretty muddy sounding voice, so
We may not yet have reached our glory, but I will gladly join the fight. And when our children tell their story, they'll tell the story of tonight. They'll tell the story of tonight.
Okay, that was Ben Platt. And he has got a fantastic voice. Now, I love the fact that this is super live because he's taking his head away from his mic even marginally and he's almost losing the sound. That's one of these perils with performing outside. There's so much ambient noise around you that your mic is basically going to pick up whatever it's pointed at. So if your face isn't in front of it, then you might run into some problems. But I like that. That's endearing to me because I know this isn't a pre-record. So, with that said, Ben has one of these really unique vocal nuances or intricacies, if you like, that he has this little cry that he adds on to stuff. It's just like a wee turn. It's not quite a flip. It's like that kind of sound. It's almost like you push your voice to the point of it kind of becoming a fatigue sounding, and then you blend that into your next note and you get this beautiful little lick of emotion. He's so good at doing that. And I've heard that in quite a lot of his performances. His vibrato is absolutely insane. So well controlled, so strong. His thyroid cartilage is tilting forward to allow that process to happen. And it's so punchy, so nice. I like also how his tone changed from quite a pointed, kind of almost twangy kind of sound into this aspirate tone at the very end there. That last story of tonight was super breathy. So he really has the chops. He knows how to change up his tone and he knows how to make his voice suit the piece as it is. Very good.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
Now, Lin, on the other hand, His voice is super, super vertical, so he's not getting much vibrato off of that at all. That to me is like he's speaking to you. I find it a really personal vocal style. You're almost getting the person's speaking voice. It's closer to a speechy kind of sound. And it's just so like personal. I really like that sound. I gravitate to people that sing like that because I just find it more authentic, if you like. There was a little bit of tilt coming in at parts where he kind of vibbed out or vibratoed some of the ends of his phrases, but for the most part he likes to keep things pretty vertical. Really nice.
Well, let that lonely feeling wash away.
All we see is light.
'Cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And
Raise a glass to freedom, something they can never take away. No matter what they tell you,
someone will come running to take you home.
raise a glass to all of us.
Tomorrow there'll be more of us,
Telling the story of tonight.
out of the shadows. The morning is breaking, and all is new. All is new.
It's only a matter of time.
Okay, I need to take a little breather here. So they're starting to layer up their lines and they're kind of finishing where the other's starting, etc., etc. They're being very respectful to allow the other person to come forward. You can hear, especially with Ben, because his voice is like a wee bit more projected, that he'll fall back, he'll change his tone from something that is more twangy to something that is more wide and aspirate kind of sounding, so that when Lin's voice comes through with the twang, it cuts above. All of this talk of cutting in and out and twang and not twang, I better explain that, right? So twang is when the epiglottis creates a little chamber above your vocal folds and condenses the airflow and makes a much more pointed sound. You get a lot more harmonic frequency at your brighter bands of harmonics, which is the resonant frequency of your ear canal. So when you sing with twang, it sounds louder to the human ear. So if you were to sing with somebody and you wanted them to project more than you would lay off the twang and allow them to twang so that their voice will be the one that kind of sticks out, if that makes sense. And the other one can fall back and create kind of just this nice harmonic backdrop for them. And that's what they're doing. They're changing that up back and forward so that each one has the kind of focus, if you like. Very, very good. They work really well together.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found.
And when our children tell their story,
You will be found.
they'll tell the story of tonight.
You can hear those little cries that Ben is doing in the background there. He's getting that kind of thing on. My voice isn't in the greatest of shape at the moment, so I'll sound absolutely terrible at it, but you know what I mean. I love the kind of narratory feeling that Lin carries with his voice. When he sings, I just pay attention. And I suppose it's down to that vertical sound, is that I feel like he's speaking to me, so it warrants my attention. I don't feel like it's hugely like overperformed. It's very matter of fact. I've read in my comments and stuff that he gets quite a lot of grief over his voice, like opinions on his voice, and I find them really unfounded. I think that there's no one way to sing, so if his voice doesn't speak to you, then that's fine, but you don't need to kind of besmirch his name. I think he's a great singer, and I also think Ben's a great singer. I think they're very different sounding, and variety is the spice of life. So that's all I got to say about that. Okay, let's keep going.
No matter what they tell you,
Tomorrow there'll be more of us,
telling the story
the story of tonight.
That was nice. That was a lovely ender where they had the straight tone and they both started to do vibrato at the same time. Tonight. I didn't move my hand when I started to vibrato because I got distracted by nothing. Dying. Now, this next point doesn't necessarily speak to how they sing, but how they like to hear themselves. If you watch, Lin Manuel has both his in-ear monitors in at all times. Ben, on the other hand, has one in-ear monitor in. Now, in-ear monitors are where you get a mix. You can get whatever mix you like. You could get just the keys behind you. You could get your voice at like 100%, Ben's voice at 70%, keys at 50%. So you know that your voice is the thing you're going to hear the most of. And every which way in between. But when you put both in, you are in the game. That's all you're going to hear. You're not going to hear much of the crowd or the outside ambient sound. Ben has one out, so he wants that he wants a little bit of that outside noise to come in so that he can gauge how the atmosphere kind of feels. I go between doing both. Sometimes I have both in if it's a particularly like loud event that I'm doing. Sometimes I would just have one in if I want to kind of pick up the feeling of the room. If you watch singers on stage, a lot of the time they will start off with two and they'll be singing and they'll be having a great time, blah, 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 blah. But then they'll feel a little bit too isolated. So they tend to pop one headphone out and they'll either sit them like that or they'll just take them away. Usually they're strung around the back, so they would just like hang out back there. But it's all about how you want to hear the sound coming back at you. So they approach that differently. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, fantastic performance. Great pair of singers, really good pairing. They complement each other in very different ways. Their vocal styles are very different, but they are also very complementary. Loved it. Very good. So I hope you liked that reaction. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have new content, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And how are we going to buy this one? Again, can't sing very well at the moment, but thank you very much for joining me. And now it's the time to say goodbye. That's all you're getting. Bye.